Okay, so this morning, what I thought would be helpful, since we're kind of at a new year, and you guys all should be going out to get listings, right? So we're going to do some calls around that. So first, the last couple weeks, we've been talking about the calls to your sphere using the what real estate goals do you have for this year? Okay. If anyone has a success story to share from using those calls, let me know. I'd love for you to throw it in the chat box for me using that script. Last week, we had someone on here that had set numerous appointments just from using that script. Okay, so it's a real easy one. It's the exact time you need to be doing it. So if you've never reached out to your sphere before, no better script to use and no better time to do it than right now. Okay, so spend your first quarter getting through your entire sphere and checking in with them and asking them what their goals are for this year. If you need more about that script, it's in your book. Okay, so then after you've called every person in your sphere to see where they are, then you want to go find listings. Okay, so why doesn't everyone open the chat box? And I would love for you to write your last two listings. What source did they come from? Your last two listings, where did they come from? I'm going to put my script over here. Beautiful. Family, past clients, floor. Guys, a lot of floor is happening right now. If your brokerage hosts floor, it's time to get on that schedule. I've heard a couple of those recently, Connie. And sphere, agent referrals. That is always a beautiful arm of business because only 30% of the new agents, unfortunately, or 70% are going to make it. 30% are probably not, unfortunately, because it's just different when they get in and start thinking about it. So a lot of the times they will still have business they'd like to set up as a referral business that you can work together. All right, friend and former coworker. And Mike Clements, personal neighborhood and random commercial sign. Nice. Okay, so I hope what you realized there, where's 95% of that from? Your sphere. Okay, that's the exact reason I have you guys do that practice because sometimes people doubt that it's there, right? But I don't think it's in my sphere. I guarantee you it is. Like, just look at all that, right? Okay, so now what I want to do today is we're going to start on, what page is this? I think 11. Oh, 10 in your script book. So this is the breakdown of a conversation, okay? So when you're starting to call, this and your pre-qualifying questions are what you need out in front of you. Okay, your pre-qualifying questions are on, I believe, 33, page 33. Okay, so print those out and have them out in front of you. And if someone would like to role play, tell me in the chat box. If no one wants to, that's totally okay because we're going to use chat. So at least once I want to show you guys how you can role play with ChatGPT today as well. Okay, but I would love to start with what we're going to do, the calls we're going to make today. How many of you have buyers that are looking for houses? Okay, almost every hand should go up, okay? If you don't specifically have a buyer, go ask someone in your office for a buyer need, okay? Say, where are your buyers looking? Do you have a neighborhood they'd love to live in? If so, can I call and try to find them a house, okay? So my mindset when I was cold calling like these that I'm going to show you today, I am just trying to get more information about the neighborhood, okay? We are going to use houses for a buyer as the script today. So my mindset going in, I'm not doing both sides of this, okay, ever. So I have a buyer already. That's why I'm calling you. Right? So you always want to kind of start off, right? If they are interested, you want to be thinking about where you're going to go with this. Okay? And a lot of agents don't think about that first when they're making these calls. So what do I mean by that? I mean, if they're like, yeah, actually, we're ready to list our house. Could you come tomorrow? Right? What are you going to do? Okay. And I want to just talk you through kind of what my strategy was. Would that be helpful when I ran
Mm-hmm.
into that? So what my plan was is I would set up the appointment. I would set up the appointment that I was coming to see their house as a potential for my buyer. And if my buyer isn't interested, to potentially help them sell it. Okay. If my buyer is interested, I'm referring that on, I'm getting rid of it. Okay. If my buyer is not interested, if it would not match their needs, then we go to the next step. Got it? Okay. The other thing that this helps with is when you're making these calls, if your mindset is they already have a realtor, sometimes that'll back down your stress level, right? You're not going to feel like you're trying to get them to do something. You're just finding out, hey, have you thought about selling your house? And if they said, yeah, we actually have, great. Have you already spoken with a realtor about that? Who is that? Could I call them and find out more information on behalf of my buyer? Okay, so I'd stop right there. Okay. And if they have a realtor they're working with, that's fantastic. Now I want to talk to your realtor ASAP. Okay, does that make sense? So don't be thinking of these calls necessarily as you're going to be their listing agent, right? I want you to think of these calls as finding your buyer a win. And if it creates a list of potential sellers, yay! Okay, because you're going to pick up bricks along the way. What questions do you have about that part? Just kind of that mindset. And mindset is everything going into these, right? So make sure you're giving yourself a little talk about what am I doing? What am I saying? What's my mindset going into this? Okay, awesome. Now let's quickly talk through the breakdown of a conversation. Okay? So simple. Who you are. I'm Julie Downey. I'm a realtor from Century 21 Sheets. I always said right in the beginning, I am a realtor. Okay, what I learned for many years, not saying that it would be confusing for them sometimes, right? Why are you calling again? So right off the bat, they know I'm a realtor. They know what brokerage I am. Okay, and then why are you calling? The script today is I'm calling because I have buyers that would love to live in your neighborhood. And I was just curious if you've thought about selling your home in the next 12 months. Okay. I say 12 months because, right, sometimes people aren't ready to do it right now, right? They're like, oh, well, in a year we were kind of thinking about it. And who knows, right? That might work for them. We might find something to work for those buyers, right? It's never a no, right? Let's just keep talking and try to make it work. Okay. So then you're going to ask some questions. You always have to have a couple questions ready. Okay. So here's how this script is going to go. Number one, you're going to ask the questions. Have you thought about selling your home anytime in the last 12 months? Okay. Or anytime in the next 12 months. They're going to say yes or no. They're likely going to say no, right? Only 6% of the people out there are even thinking about it. So remember that 94% of the people you're going to talk to have not thought about it at all. So be prepared for a no. No, we have not even thought about that. Okay, I totally get it. And what about your neighbors? Anyone around you? Have you heard anybody else kind of mumbling that they'd like to move or, okay? They're going to say yes or no. And response, thanks so much for thinking about that. Okay? And Murphy's Law is in the next few weeks, you're going to run into a neighbor that does want to sell, and I'd like for you to keep my number. Okay, here's what it is. Program me in as realtor in your phone. Okay, that's my next steps. What's next? Giving them homework. Program me in your phone, right? And then you're going to say, and just before I hop off, just a quick question. When you have a real estate question, who do you call for that? Okay, so that's your third question, always your go-to agent question, right? And so this is to find out, do they have someone they trust? Do they need someone? If they do, I'd like to earn the opportunity to be that person for you. Okay, a lot of people will then ask, how are you going to earn that opportunity, right? Be prepared with how you're going to answer that. What will you do? And they'll be like, okay, well, you can try, but what's that look like? Right? People won't say that, but right? Well, I have a great community of past clients and future clients. I send them market updates. I keep them updated on what's happening in the market, check in all the time if you ever need contractors, if you ever need design ideas. I'm just kind of there for you for anything you might need. How's that sound? Okay. And then get permission to put them into your database. Cool? Okay. Questions, comments so far? All right. Do we want to role play? I did not see anyone put their name in the chat box. Would you prefer to go to Chat GPT first? This is up to you. So you want to do it, James? Is that what you're saying? Let's go. Okay, awesome. So come off mute for me. You're on mute still. There we go. Okay, ring ring.
Hello,
Hi, this is Julie Downey. I'm a realtor with Century 21 Sheets. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Um,
Good.
why are you calling me?
Yeah, so I have a buyer that would love to live in your neighborhood, and I was just curious if you've thought at all about selling your home in the next year or so.
I'm thinking about a year and a half.
Okay, okay. And what would make you want to move? What's the reason for moving?
Be closer to grandkids.
Where are they?
They are in Georgia, and I'm going to be retiring in about a little over a year.
Oh, congratulations. If you could get
Thank
there
you.
sooner, would you want to go?
I have to retire first.
Oh, I got it. What date do you retire? You got to finish a job here, huh? You can't just up and out. Ah, I totally get it.
Thir-
And when does
13
your
months.
job start? When do you retire?
13 months.
13 months. Okay, great. And so talk to me about the goal. Would the goal be when you retire to already have a place in Georgia that you know you're moving to? Or are you thinking of starting the whole selling process once you retire? Get retired first
Well,
and then start looking at that.
yeah, for me, it'll be retire first, and then that'll give me 5 months, and I should have the home sold, or at least I believe the home should sell within the 5 months, so I can,
Got it. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. So this probably will not work for my buyer. However, let me ask, have you talked to anyone as far as a realtor to help you sell it when you're ready?
Yes, I don't have anyone.
Great.
Matter of fact, I don't know an agent.
Okay, perfect. Well, hey, I would love to come out, meet you, take a look at your house and just see if I might be able to earn the opportunity to be one of the realtors you interview when it's time to sell your house.
That sounds good. So when
Okay.
should I put my home on the market?
Well, that's
That's
what
all
we're going to
thinking
dig
about.
into. Yeah.
Okay,
When I come out, let's look at your house. Let's look at the market. Let's look at if there's anything you need to do to get it ready for the market by next year. And then we can have a much better idea of kind of what our timeline is, and we can lay it all out from now until then. How's that sound?
sounds good.
Okay, awesome. So I'm setting an appointment. I'm coming tomorrow at 3 or Wednesday at 4, right? Give them two times and move forward with your appointment. Good job, James. Okay, what'd you hear? What'd you learn? Anything in that?
I was kind of surprised you gave them the idea of interviewing more than you. Would you have done that?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yes.
do?
Yes, always. And you guys, why? Because I'm going to
There's,
get it. And if I'm
Oh,
not going to get it, they weren't meant to work with me.
there's something about taking the pressure off of
Yeah.
that too. Like I
Yeah.
even say that to people that I know that are friends. Like
That's exactly.
I just try I might have gotten that from you, just kind of teeing it up to let them know that they are actually interviewing me.
Yes.
And then I'm
Yep.
not taking it for granted. Like I'm gonna
Not taking it for granted. That was the other thing I
mhm.
was going to say. Thank you for that, Leanne. Is remember I said I want to earn the opportunity to be your realtor. I'm not going into any of this assuming I'm your realtor, right? I'm going into this saying I'm going to work hard to earn the opportunity to be your realtor when you're ready. And they hopefully, once they meet me, that's also, Connie, in this instance, why I'm getting out this week.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm not going to tell them interview other agents and then wait 9 months to talk to them again. That's how you'll lose it.
Okay.
Right. But I know I'm going to be on it. I know I'm going to set this appointment now and they won't need to interview other agents because they're going to feel great. I'm going to take great care of them. I'm going to send them seller updates all the way from now until next year.
Mhm.
I mean,
So when do you spring the commission on them? Since you're not going to be signing any contract for a year or
yeah,
over.
we probably won't even talk about it.
So if he asks you, you defer?
No, well, he didn't on the call. If he asks on the call, then yes, I would defer and say, yeah, commission, you've heard me say this before. Commission totally depends on the market we're facing, the condition of your house, what strategy we're choosing, and all that kind of stuff. So I charge 3.5%. Once I'm out at your house, however, we can definitely talk about that and how we want to use that.
All right.
So, okay. Yeah. And if they push back on it, right, my whole script and mindset is to get them to understand I'll make you more money than that commission you're going to pay. So, right, I'm going to put that money right back in your pocket. So if it doesn't cost you any more to have a great agent like me sell your house, is that what you'd want to do? Yeah, if it's not going to cost us anymore, great. I'll be out there. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yep, never worried about putting the idea of another agent in their mind. And remember, that's kind of our mindset here too, is we're going into this to find a need for our buyer potentially. This one turned out to be a listing lead, which is fantastic and the ultimate gold, of course, right? But be ready for them to say no and be ready to ask the go-to agent question and get them in your database.
Hey, Julie, now I know you said
Yes.
you once you set the appointment, you go out and see them,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna send them a market update. Do you at that point say the market update once a month and maybe
Yep.
um a drip campaign, just
Yeah.
kind of show them the area, how homes are forming?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't set them up on a search or anything like that,
Okay.
but I would send, and they're in here now. I hate scrolling with you guys on the screen, and I already did that, so I'm gonna stop share. Sorry, what is it? Oh my gosh, James, tell me again. What are we looking for?
Um,
I started looking at all the lists because I was looking for something, and then you said
no,
something,
I
so I
was I
started
was
looking at my.
asking about a market besides the market update. Would you put them on a drip campaign? You said
Yeah. So
no.
probably not. My market update would be my drip campaign.
Okay.
Okay,
All
so
right.
that would be the drip I'd use. And it would look exactly like the seller weekly updates. I must have opened an old one. Yeah. Okay, so there are the buyer weekly updates and the seller weekly updates in your script book. So what that would look like, and I would tell them I'm going to send you one on the first Monday of every month. Why am I saying that? Because Monday's when I send it to every single client, and the first Monday of the month would be when I'd send them to any other clients that are farther out, maybe. Okay, it's going to be the exact same information. You're just going to search 30 days versus 7. Okay, so you're just going to set their search up a little bit different. And what that's going to look like is I'm going to set it up for their area and neighborhood. So I have an idea of where he lives. I have an idea of what that price point might be, what other buyers might be competing against, and then you're going to send it. So it's going to be any new listings that went on in the 30 days, anything that pended. And in 30 days right now in our market, you're going to see a lot, right? So these are things you're going to watch for and tell them. You're going to say, as you can see, when we kind of started this conversation in January or February of 26, we were listing 10 houses and 8 of them were pending. Now, what we can see 12 months later is that every time we list 10 houses, only 4 are pending in 30 days. Does that make sense? So, guys, that's why you're watching all these little points, right? What are listings doing? How many listings are coming on the market all the time? Is it going up? Is it going down? Right? They need to know that stuff. How are the pendings? Are pendings moving faster or slower? How much pending fallout is there? Right? What is the list to sale prices? You will also see those go in a direction of sorts if you keep watching month after month after month. So you can tell them, keep an eye on this. If interest rates drop more, right? Interest rates have dropped. So we're seeing list to sale prices go up, more demand. Okay, so the entire time you're educating them on what's happening with their market. So 18 months from now, when I go meet with James, he's the smartest seller out there, right? My listing appointment is basically nothing because he's so educated on everything. And now I'm going to walk in and be like, okay, so now you've seen what's happening, right? Where do we go from here? Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. It was a little bit of a rant there, but hopefully it was very helpful.
No, it was.
Okay,
Plus,
good.
the seller will be informed and up to date.
Yep, that's exactly right. And we want
So,
them used to getting the information when they're a seller that we're going to be sending them all the time. All right,
right.
so no reason to switch it up. You're going to be one of my sellers. This is what I'm going to give you every 7 days when you're on the market. Since we're just preparing for the market, it'll come once a month. Okay.
Plus, I think it also, because to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of agents do that. So
No,
it kind of it separates you from
yeah,
everyone else. Because the biggest
that's
complaints I've heard in the past was I can't get the agent on the phone.
mhm.
They're not picking up at all, and it's taking them, sometimes a few days to get back to them.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah,
frustrated,
right? Yeah,
especially the expires and the even FISBOs.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. And James, that's a great point because it's really funny because, right, what is every buyer and every seller, anytime I ask a realtor, what are you great at? They always say communication, right? I'm really great at communication. And that is what everyone wants. But guys, what's that look like? Does that just mean you answer the phone anytime they call? Or does that mean you're going to continually educate them with information and make sure they're part of the process and communicated with on a regular basis? They know exactly when to expect the information, what to expect, right? How it empowers them in the system. Okay, so it's a totally different mindset of communicating with your clients. And you're right, James, lots of agents don't use it. It's becoming more and more common. It is in your new script book, so go get those. And a habit I would challenge you to start right now is sending those to every buyer and every seller you've got every Monday afternoon and see how it changes the type of realtor you are. It will empower you just to watch those numbers every week. Okay, and it'll help you talk about the market. So pull those up. Okay, what other questions?
yeah, since you said that, I was just thinking about how would you recommend, just thinking out of the box, like if you had a certain amount of investors in FISBO, sending them the market report, because otherwise they have to look at it themselves.
Oh, yeah. That would be a
You know what
great way
I'm
to
saying?
convert a for sale by
Right.
owner. Yeah. And here's what, guys, on a for sale by owner, I'd send them the information. Do not interpret it. Do not interpret it. Just send the information. Okay? Because the interpretation is then kind of representing them. So you got to stay away from that part, right? They have to hire you to get the interpretation of the market to let them know what that might mean for them, right? Now you're starting to represent them. So stay away from that with the for sale by owner, right? But send them the information. And then the key is the Monday call and the Friday call every week that triggers them on what they're doing. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that, James?
Yeah, I know. Well, when they say I want to sell it myself because I don't want to pay you guys, blah blah blah.
Yep.
So I would call on Monday and I will ask, hey, how did it go?
Yeah. How'd your week
How,
go?
how did the
Information.
weekend
Yeah.
go? And
Yep.
it should be one or two things. And
Yep.
I'll just think about the market report. That would be
A great thing to
like a
send
little
them then
counter.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I always highlighted in my for sale by owner calls on Monday, especially, right? Because you're watching those markets, but make sure you're hitting something that likely may not have happened for their home, right? So if I saw showings increase by 15% this week, I would say, how were your showings? Like so excited when they said, oh, I didn't really have any, right? You're like, "Ah, that is so weird because showings increased 15% this week. I wonder why you missed them. We all know why they missed them, right? But okay, so that's how you use the update. And then when you send it, right, you're going to send them that and they're going to see it in the data.
Hey,
Okay.
Julie.
Yes, ma'am.
I was switching from my car to the office when you were talking about the
You're fine.
market report.
Yeah.
What are you sending? I heard you say the 30 days.
You
Are
got it.
you doing that by neighborhood or
Well, price point and area is how I
okay,
say. Now, area is going to be determined however you think that area should be. Typically, I do kind of a price point in their county, where the buyers might be searching.
okay,
Okay, so if they're in Carmel and it's East Carmel and it's a little section of there that I know kind of people search, I'm going to narrow it down to kind of that competitive area.
okay.
Does that help?
Yep.
Does anyone see the weekly updates? I want to find the pages because now I'm like, they're in here because I showed them to you and now I'm not seeing them. Oh, there it
Well,
is.
I
Page
would say
16.
go to find and type in market. You can
Hold
do a
on, here we
word
go.
search in your document,
Okay, page 16.
right?
If anyone wants to see it. And guys, we are at 9 o'clock. Feel free to drop off. Go start making your calls. Okay. Get your sphere calls done and then start calling for listings today. Have your 2 questions and your go-to agent question ready to go, and you will nail them. Come back with successes next week. All right. And I'm going to jump into the update here for anyone that wants to stay. Bye, everybody. See you Tuesday. All right, Kelly, here it is. Okay, so it's the new listings, new pendings, anything that closed for the list to sale price, the showing numbers. You would take out how many showings did they have if it's not active on the market. Okay, so that's for listings you're currently sitting on. So you're going to see how many showings happened in my price point and area and how many of them did we get. Okay, and then you'll figure out to get it sold what that percentage is, right? So when you get your listing sold, you can find that out to know what the target is.
okay.
Right? And then days on the market and anything happening in the market. Okay.
Yep.
So that's in here now. And then I believe, yes. Okay. So there's also the template. So when you send the first week, you send a lot more information than you will every week after that, right? Because you want to explain to them, here's why we're watching all this stuff week to week. Okay, so that's what this does. This is the scripts to go along with it. You can literally copy and paste this right into your email, and then the blue is where you're going to insert data. Okay, and then we also have it for the buyers. Okay, so the template for the sellers and then the template for the buyers. And then every week after that, it should look like this. It's going to be a quick sentence or two about what you saw this week. Hey guys, here's what happened in your market this week. I would talk about if there was a holiday. I would talk about if there was a whatever, anything substantial that was happening, right? Remember, this weekend was MLK, so a lot of schools were out. We also had the national championship game last night, so showings were really slow this weekend. I would expect them to pick up this week, but we'll watch that. Here's what happened in your market. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? So it just becomes every week you just got to throw that data in there and a quick 2-sentence like summary of what they need. Cool?
Cool.
Okay. Start that habit, everybody. Start that habit now and calling your sphere, and I'll see you all next Tuesday.
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome. Bye.
Hey, Julie, will you send me your book, or can I send you an email to remind you to send me your book?
Yes,
Or do you
you
want
know
me to
what?
go
It's on.
online?
Yep, it's online.
Okay.
CoachJulieDowney.com. It's in the
Perfect.
resources.
Okay,
If
thank
you
you.
can't get it, then send me an email. And yes, of course, I'll send it to you. But it's all updated for this year and some new stuff in it. So,
Yay. Thank you.
yay.
Looking
Good to
forward
see
to
you,
this.
lady.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.